This perp back with another video, and I just got done watching episode 4 of Candy. Tomorrow or Friday or whatever you're watching this, episode 5 comes out tomorrow. We're gonna see how everything wraps up, but man, this was a really interesting penultimate episode. I think this was a lot stronger than episode 3. In my opinion, we get a lot more Pat in this episode, and just him figuring out that Candy had an affair. But it's very interesting the approach that he takes to, kind of still stand by Candy's side, even when he's getting questioned at court, and they're questioning him at court, and he's just on Candy's side. So that's interesting for him to kind of still, take up for Candy and defend Candy. But this is interesting because I did not expect to see Justin Timberlake in this show at all. He is, the lead officer that kind of is called to break down this case, and he's taking pictures and whatnot, and seeing all the evidence that's just around. And I'm saying, Candy was very sloppy at this, and it's only a matter of time. And this whole episode kind of lingers as far as the timeline goes. When they do their investigation and stuff like that, it takes several days for them to release information on the prints and everything. But it's very fascinating. So Alan gets home, and the deputy pretty much tells him, look, this is what really happened. I know the neighbors lied to you, but this is what really happened to your wife. She was chopped up by an axe. And apparently, you find out later on in this episode that Betty got hit with the axe 41 times, which is insane. But also, Alan starts to let the cops know, yeah, I had an affair with Candy. And right then and there, it was just that kind of put a bullseye on Candy's back, as she's trying to live her normal life, trying to just be there for her family. But she's completely out of it. And news spreads like wildfire, you know what I'm saying? As soon as everybody else finds out what happens to Betty, she gets the phone call, and, everybody gets to talking about it. Very, very, very interesting to me. But the sad part of this is seeing Christina's kind of reaction. I feel like that was the saddest moment. And seeing Candy's reaction. There's a lot of just body language and not a lot of dialogue, which I'm cool with. Especially with Alan's character, you just kind of see just what they kind of think with their body language and stuff like that. And I find that to be really dope. So Alan ends up, telling the cops more, because I'm assuming that this chick that comes over is Betty's sister. I'm drawing a blank on her name. But she even mentions yo, they might trace you back. Did you take any money out? They might look at you as a suspect, so you might want to clear that up. And he ends up telling the cops yeah, I was taking out money for a vacation. And this is the point where I thought was Alan in on this? But then I thought to myself, there are some things that happened in this episode that debunked that. So there's a scene where Candy starts to get all lovey-dovey with her husband, Pat, but then gets interrupted and gets brought in for questioning. And she's already nervous. Her nails are messed up. One of the cops point that out. And also her toes messed up. And the cop straight up asks her, did you kill Betty? And she's like, no. Would you? And he's like, will you be willing to take a polygraph test to prove that? And she said, yeah, why not? Meanwhile, you have Alan trying to take care of the house, and he really doesn't know what he's doing, to the point where he doesn't even know how to wash dishes, doesn't know how to change a diaper. This is all stuff that Betty has done, and he has to deal with all of this. So he has to even tell her family what happened, and that's pretty tough on him. But there's this really interesting scene where he sees the cutout of one of the tiles, and it ends up being smaller than a man's footprint. And he starts to kind of think about things, and as the episode goes along, more and more evidence gets revealed. So Candy is trying to destroy the evidence and make it look like she was never there. She ends up getting lawyered up, which is interesting. And they are kind of in disbelief as well. They don't think that Candy would be able to do such a thing. Because back then, they never would really expect a woman to be able to kill somebody, especially with an axe. The axe is heavy. It's very top heavy. And for somebody to swing that shit like 40 something times, that takes a lot out of you. So now we get to moments before the funeral, and Christina is really acting up. She doesn't want to wear black. She wants to wear the dress that her mom gave her. And you really start to see the guilt in Candy's face throughout this episode, that like it's really starting to get to her each and every day, and it's only a matter of time. And then Alan kind of sees that her foot kind of pretty much matches the little cutout that they have. So that's interesting. And this was really sad to seeing Christina just bawl her eyes out, and just seeing the reactions of different characters and how the loss of Betty has affected Alan. He pretty much has his little breaking point, and like he just completely breaks down. And just, I'm curious to see what he's gonna say at court. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a really sad scene, just seeing Christina going through all this. Now they found a fingerprint. See, like this is like Wednesday, so this is like day 5. So it's taken a while, and it's probably driving Candy crazy. It's just like at this point that she's at a breaking point. She goes to her lawyers and tells them the truth. But then there's some interesting things that the lawyer says, like, we might have a self-defense case because we don't know what happened. We don't know if she just straight up went up there and just killed Betty. There's definitely was some type of struggle. So the episode ends off with we have Pat just waking up randomly and trying to see if it's possible for Candy to be the one to be the killer. And I feel like he kind of put 2 and 2 together, and I don't know if he really cares as much. I don't know, and that's what I'm saying. It's very interesting how characters react to this, and what's going to happen from here. Is Betty going to be able to get off on this? Not Betty, I mean Candy going to get off on this? Because if this is a self-defense case, then you know what I'm saying, this could go either way. I'm excited to see how the finale is going to wrap everything up. This is a fascinating series. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode. I thought this was a really strong episode. Not much dialogue, but a lot of body language, and I thought that was really cool. Seeing Justin Timberlake was a surprise. Didn't expect that, but until next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.